this is a stressful time for a lot of people, and you've been
Yes.
in a lot of stressful situations in your life, in your career as a Navy SEAL. You know, how do you deal with some of those stressful times? Like, you know, being in the military, being actually in combat, you know, some stressful things you've dealt with there, of course. And then how do you relate that to, you know, what we're going through now as you know, a lot of people are very nervous, or they don't know how to deal. They kind of give up, or, you know, what's your advice?
Well, first, everybody needs to just take a step back and detach from their emotions, because you're not going to make a good decision when you're emotional. I've never made a really good life decision when I was emotional. I don't know. Maybe you guys have. I haven't. But
Not usually. No.
Yeah. You know, when for the most part, people do not make really good life decisions when they're super emotional. So we need to detach from our emotions, and we have to understand that our attitudes are contagious. So if I'm freaking out, if I'm stressed out, guess what my wife is going to probably start to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what the kids are going to start to do as well. They're going to get stressed out about it. I can tell you right now, my wife is not stressed out with this current situation. My kids are not stressed out with this current situation. You know why? Because I'm not stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
And we openly talk as a family in regards to, hey, okay, yeah, this coronavirus, this is a nasty thing. But you know what? We're not in the category of people that could die from it. You know, we're all healthy, we're active, and we're younger. So we're probably not going to have any major issues. And if we stress about it, guess what? It does absolutely nothing. That stress about something that you cannot control, you're wasting your energy. We all only have so much energy that we can put out. And a lot of people are wasting their energy worried about things that they can't control. And so to answer your question, Eugene, it was the same thing in the military. I was a point man, right? So that means when we were walking on patrols, I was that first guy navigating us to the target or through the area that we had to do according to the route, and then make our way back, right? So that means if that route was to be heavily IED'd or full of improvised explosive devices or roadside bombs, I was most likely the first person that would step on it. Or I was the first person that was probably going to get shot if somebody came around the corner and just opened up with their machine gun. That was most likely going to happen to me. That was a fact. Me worrying about it, guess what that did to change that fact?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And if I worried about it, if I stressed about it, guess what? It took away my ability to focus on the things that I could dictate, the things that I could control, the things that did matter that I was in charge of. And it took away from my energy. And if you take away from the energy, you lose your ability to focus. Mm-hmm. And I'm a point man and a sniper. I need to have a good amount of focus. I need to be able to be dialed in. I need to have situational awareness. I need to be able to recognize, like, hey, we were walking down the street last week and that section of the road was not dug up. So there's probably an IED over there. Or, hey, that wall is painted a different color than it was 3 days ago. They might have put some IEDs in those walls, so we're going to avoid that side of the road. And there's times I would recognize and pick up on little stuff like that. And guess what? There would be an IED buried where I thought there was. Or that wall was actually a false wall that was full of explosives because they thought we would patrol along that side of the street. And then when half of our patrol got in front of it, they would clack off those walls. And so you have to stay dialed in. You have to stay focused. And if I'm worrying about shit that I can't control and I can't change, it takes away from the stuff I need to be focused on. So what you need to do is detach from your emotions, step back and say, okay, currently right now, what are things that I can control? And what are the things that I cannot control? The things that you can control is actually much more than you think. If you were to sit back and think about, hey, I can control my attitude. I can control my emotions. I can control my diet. I can control my workouts. I can control my relationships. I can control the time I put into developing myself as an individual. Am I listening to podcasts that are going to benefit me? Am I reading books that are going to help me grow as an individual? Am I being default aggressive to say, okay, what can I do during this time? Okay, my gym's closed. I can't have a gym open. But you know what I can do? I can be providing value to my clients every single day. I can be doing Zoom calls with my clients. I can be actually picking up the phone and calling each and every one of my members just to say hi, just to talk to them. I can pick up my phone and send a video message to every one of my clients individually by name, customizing it because I have that time right now. There's so many things that we can do right now, but people are choosing not to because the fear has overcome them and they're allowing that fear to dictate what they do. You can't allow the situation to dictate what you do. You dictate the situation by being aggressive, by being proactive, by being smart, and just getting into the fight. It's a new fight. It's a new fight that we're all up against. You can sit back and get your ass kicked, or you can get up and get in the fight and have a chance of winning, dominating, and pushing forward. And then you can actually help other people do the same.